Welcome to Hardway. It is Friday, free for all Friday. Not really free for all because we do have some topics. We're not just gonna run away with this show, are we, boys?
Yeah.
We're not just gonna.
Oh, I might run away with the show. You never
Scott,
know.
you ain't running.
You're not running anywhere.
Let's be honest. We got Scotty two bodies.
Oh,
And we got Ricky. What was I calling you? Shit, Ricky, I can't remember.
I don't either.
Crazy. I can't remember what I was calling you. Let's come up with a nickname, a fitting nickname.
We'll get
for,
something
for Ricky. But it is Friday. This will go up today. This will be rendered and it will be live today by 8 p.m. So hopefully, if I don't spill my drink all over my product placement.
cheap plug.
So, first, we're going to start off with the passing of maybe not so much a WWE legend, but he did add to WWE in a couple different segments. Jerry Springer passed away yesterday of some sort of cancer. I just found this out today. I didn't even hear this until
I heard about it yesterday when it happened. So
do you remember
about it when you just told me?
Oh, okay. Well, I just happened to be looking through some notes and stuff, and so do you remember Jerry being on a lot of different things for WWE?
I mean, I remember the one Raw he was on specifically, but again, I just remember him taking a bump. I don't even remember for who he took the bump for, but I just remember him taking the bump. But to me, I look at Jerry as kind of a legend in the wrestling world because his style kind of influenced what the late 90s kind of became for WWE, ECW, heck, even a little bit of WCW.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, his contribution to the wrestling business may not have been intentional or overt, but it did help. Vince Russo took a lot of stylings of Jerry Springer and ran with it as storylines. And some guys like Val Venus and Godfather and a lot of the women stuff that was going on at that point in the late 90s was all based off of guys watching Jerry Springer. And same thing with ECW.
And that's how I remember Jerry as he did something with the Bellas, like he was a mediator or something. And I believe he hosted an event or two. But yes, you're exactly right, Scott. Jerry Springer, he embodied what WWE was, the Attitude Era. That you never knew if a midget was going to come out and smack his girlfriend in the face on WWE or Jerry Springer, which it probably happened more on Jerry, but yeah, that's kind of how I remember Jerry.
He did have a episode with, I believe, Razor Ramon, where he was on his show with a couple of kids and gave away WrestleMania tickets.
Oh, okay. Like on Jerry's show?
Yeah, on Jerry's show.
Yeah, never heard about that.
I did read about that one.
Well, he did have a show called Too Hot, WWE Too Hot for TV, which I'm sure was a lot of
oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I'm sure it was a lot of lingerie.
Yeah.
So
probably a lot of the cat segments.
Yeah, right. A lot of the puppies segments for Jerry. But yeah, Jerry was not a huge name in WWE, but he's definitely was at some point in the WWE doing some different things. Now, was he Hall of Fame? Did he he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, right?
I thought he was inducted.
Was he inducted?
Yeah, he may have been.
I thought it said WWE Hall of Famer because he was, of course, in the celebrity wing because he really wasn't there's no other. He wasn't a wrestler, so they're not going to put him in the wrestling wing. But
yeah, he hosted Raw a couple times, I think.
Yeah. So I'm
Yes,
pretty
he
darn sure.
definitely hosted Raw a few times. I'm looking back. I don't see where it says. I don't see where it says where they're calling him Hall of Famer Jerry Springer.
Well, I could be wrong, but I could have sworn I saw it in one of the articles that again I just skimmed over the headlines and stuff like that, but because all the articles I saw were on like the wrestling websites and stuff like that, and somebody I'm pretty sure called him the WWE Hall of
Yeah,
Famer.
yeah, I see that. They are calling him a Hall of Famer. So yep, Jerry Springer. I was huge on Jerry, not so much in the wrestling part because I did drop off from wrestling in probably the best part of wrestling ever. I missed a
Yeah.
lot of the Attitude Era, a lot of the John Cena era. Um, and I'm sure I would have hated John like everybody else. But I remember Jerry from all of his TV shows and like he was like he was the best talk show host ever. We know a lot of it was scripted like wrestling. Shocker. But it was some of the best shows. It was well written, and you just never knew when somebody was getting their ass kicked on whether Steve it was from Steve Wilkos,
That's right.
his
His
bodyguard, or
bodyguard.
which was he spun off to Steve Wilkos show, by the way.
Yep,
So it's a
I remember that.
it was a that's how I remember Jerry. Jerry was always,
And
kind
I
of
mean,
stayed
there's
back,
so many.
stirred the pot, and watched it
There
go.
was going to be a chair thrown one way or another in that show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some of the best parts of Jerry Springer were the crowd questions after the show was over, after the main show. They were all sitting on stage, and somebody would ask, some ridiculous question is like, "What's under your gunt?" And that kind of stuff, and they would explode. Like the people would be wanting to go into the crowd and beat the shit out of whoever asked the question. So it was Jerry. He definitely will be missed. The talk show circuit is definitely not going to be the same with Jerry.
yeah. When I now just really one other quick thing. When did he officially? Because he officially retired from that gig as well.
He
But
was
that
so he retired. He wasn't doing the Jerry show anymore. He was doing something called Judge Jerry, where he was like a
really, I
judge.
hear about this.
Yeah, so
Wow.
he was I caught the show a couple times. Definitely wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Basically Judge Judy type of thing where he sat with a robe. Would have been more interested in the show if he wore a powdered wig. But he was a judge. And I mean, basically just he gave, how at the end of Jerry Springer, he used to give like this little thought, Jerry's
Yeah.
thought or
Thought for the
whatever.
day.
And
Yeah.
and that's kind of what he did for this show. But it definitely wasn't as the Springer show itself. He was the mayor of Cincinnati, I believe,
Yes.
at one
He
point.
was
So
the mayor of Cincinnati until he got caught using public funds to pay a prostitute
he
and got
DiBiase'd him.
he kind of, yes, he
Okay.
DiBiase'd himself out of he used public funds from the slush fund in the government to pay a prostitute, and he wrote it on government
Sounds like a
checks too.
recurring trend here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
wait a minute, he bought himself a prostitute, or he bought
yeah,
one for the show?
dude. No, this is long before the show ever happened. Like that's how he got the idea for the show. Was he turned his own real life situation into a stage television talk show? Like from what I remember, the whole history of it was the show was originally just him interviewing crazy people, and then they kind of got the idea of taking a little bit of the staged aspect of pro wrestling and staging the Jerry Springer show, and boom, that's when it really took off and went crazy and everybody loved it. But yeah, no, he was the mayor of Cincinnati, paid a prostitute, got caught doing it, and then boom, like it just spiraled into a whole nother life for him. So
Do you remember the redneck guy that invented the Judy chop? Have you ever seen that? Do you ever seen that guy?
Yeah.
He is all over. He's still all over everything, but he was actually on the Springer show, and I guess his wife left him for his cousin or some shit like that, or she left him for her sister. I don't know, whatever these trailer park people do. And he was telling Jerry that he was gonna give him a Judy chop.
Oh my gosh.
This guy's still out there roaming around somewhere, so I'm sure he's gonna read Jerry's eulogy.
Oh, yeah. And to tie it back into wrestling, if I remember right, reading New Jack's obituary, he had been on the Jerry show a couple of times.
No doubt.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, because if I remember right, he had done because they did something when he was a part of, or they did something right after Smoky Mountain Wrestling, right before he went to ECW, because they were going to do something with New Jack and Mustafa with Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and Vince got wind of it and told Cornette, ixnay on that, because Cornette was then tied to WWF at that point, because he was managing Yoko as well as running Smoky Mountain. But then after New Jack left, I think Paul Heyman got him on Jerry in the interim between Smoky Mountain and ECW. And then I think he even did a couple of guest stars after that while he was still in ECW, and then floating around the rest of the indies after his ECW career was over.
This is Scott's deep dive into Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
You might know more. You might know more about Jerry Springer than anybody I know.
Yeah. And the funny thing, I very rarely watch the show. Like, I would, I'd be passing it on a like a weekday when I'd be home from school.
You want Scott to come read the eulogy? Yeah, he could come do it. Yeah, he could do it. Yeah, bring the prostitute. Oh yeah, not a problem. Is it paid for? Oh, it's paid. Scott, it's paid for.
Okay, you know what? I'll go do it. If it's paid for, I'll go do it. So as long as they're using the Cincinnati slush fund to pay me,
I'm sure whatever lot lizard they found, that she's gonna pull her teeth out and give you the best time you've ever had.
Scotty's already got the hamburger meat hanging out. Showing a little cleavage.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard stories over the years and seen different stuff, so I kind of have a little bit of a knowledge. Even like I said, I rarely ever watch the show, but
Gotcha. All right, well, moving on. Did anyone realize that Vince McMahon was racist?
Considering he said the N-word on live television one time, doesn't really surprise me.
He's not shy from any storyline whatsoever. I mean, he will throw anything out there at any time.
Heck, he tried to convince Stephanie to do a storyline where he was the father of her baby. So yeah, he tried to do an incest.
I did read he was going to pull an incest storyline at one point.
Yep, yeah, well, he'd have to go through with it though, right? He'd have to. We got to make this real as possible, Steph.
Oh, Lord. But
hold her down, Test.
Racist.
hold her down, Test. I'm coming in.
Oh shit.
So Vince McMahon is being sued by an ex-writer named Brittany Abrams. Right? Is that how I'm reading that? Filed a lawsuit against her former employee for discriminatory treatment, harassment, hostile work environment, wrongful termination, and unlawful, these are big words, blank, retaliation, whatever, against the plaintiff due to her race, color, and gender. A court document reveals that Abrams mentioned specific racist and stereotype pitches that that made it on television in her lawsuit, which involved Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair and Apollo Crews. Now we know they gave Apollo this Nigerian accent.
Yeah.
Which is
dumb as shit.
It's almost as ridiculous as Kofi being having his Jamaican accent and then losing it.
Well, but here's the thing about it. At least Kofi started with the Jamaican accent and lost it. With Apollo, they had already booked Apollo Crews. We already knew who he was. Then they switched him Nigerian. Like
he was the fucking United States champion before all of that.
Yes.
So you just took somebody who was like your mid card champ.
Well, he was huge in
just-
NXT. Like he was
Yeah, and
huge
then
in
you just
NXT before he went to WWE. He just had
changed his
stupid.
whole persona. It was just dumb. Piss
Yeah.
poor writing.
It was horrible. Well, not only that, it's the Bianca Belair thing, which I never really agreed to. Even though sometimes that stuff makes me laugh because it's so over the top. But
Yeah.
you know, making Bianca Belair, you know, girl, and start taking her earrings off like that's all this. I don't know, but
Yeah, it's
this
silly
is
stuff.
not surprising. That this is coming out that Vince McMahon might be a tad bit racist. So who else over the years? I'd have to think here for a second, but who else over the years have they done this to?
Booker T.
Definitely
yeah.
Booker T.
Booker, yeah, definitely.
Um, gosh, why can't my brain is not wanting to work here?
Naomi.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
something to
They
Naomi.
did Naomi for sure, and that's some of the reason why she's not there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Booker and Naomi are the two biggest, the most egregious ones.
I don't know. The Apollo Crews thing's kind of
Apollo Crews as well. But I'm talking more in the past, like the more egregious ones in the past. I'm
Crime
sure.
time.
Yeah, crying time. Yeah, that was
millions of dollars.
They from everything. I mean, they made it. They made that work, and they made a name off of for themselves off of that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they seem
good
to
or
have
bad
with it. So, but trying to think like again, like there's probably a ton more examples of just small stuff that they've done with people that is just kind of slipping. I mean, I'm sure who knows what they did to freaking Ron Simmons, like after they
okay, there you go. Damn. Now supposedly Ron Simmons came up with that on his own.
he says that all the time from what I've been
but
told.
they did have the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, the Nation of Domination. I mean, just and
the DX parody with who was it, X-Pac doing blackface.
Yes,
Mark Henry.
God. Yes, I forgot about the blackface incident with X-Pac.
I mean that was probably one of the greatest like rivalries and promos ever. But yeah, definitely shit they couldn't get away with now.
So I'm telling you, and race is always going to be some sort of issue, right? It's always been an issue, especially in the public eye. It's an issue. I know I've been in situations in locker rooms. Actually, I was just in a locker room recently where there was, if you want to call it race stuff, it's not racist, but it was like people going back and forth, white boy, whatever, just goofing off. Everybody was having a great time and joking about the situation. And it was never forced upon. It was nobody seemed to feel like they were like, oh, this is wrong. Like just joking back and forth. ATCW, predominantly black locker room. We have African American, we have Hispanic, and then me, white. So I mean, we have a couple white dudes, but for the most part, we're pretty much a melting pot of different, and everybody gets along. And but in a million years, I would never write a story or never add a story of step and fetch or any of the racist bullshit that the WWE has done over the years. And I don't think there's a place for it. Honestly, I really don't think there's a place for it anymore, or really shouldn't have been at all. So
yeah,
but shocker, Vince McMahon. Now, Scott, is this the nail? Is this the final nail in the coffin for?
I mean, again, I'm very interested to see what happens, but I don't think. I mean, I'm going to give it a few months, maybe 6, before they really pull the plug on Vince's contract over this, if this is what they're going to do. But because they've just acquired WWE at this point.
This is all past stuff. This is the stuff that was Like they didn't just start doing this stuff.
I,
It's stuff that's been going on. And actually the Bianca Belair stuff doesn't go anymore. Like I don't think she really does that kind of I always thought it was funny when she went or when she was like,
Yeah.
girl, you don't even go here. Like that shit made me laugh.
yeah,
But she doesn't do it anymore. So maybe the writing has changed. Maybe things have changed when it comes to that front.
yeah.
And this is all past past shit that old man Vince has done. So is it the nail? I doubt
Again,
it. I
again,
doubt it.
Yeah.
if Endeavor wants to pull the plug on Vince, they are not going to do it right away because again, they just acquired WWE. So what is that going to look like when the guy that they just bought WWE from, they fire immediately? So again, if they're going to do something, they'll do it in about 6 months when kind of the everything is kind of settled down and the company is kind of working smoothly the two companies are working smoothly together. Then they'll kind of be like, and it'll probably be a very quiet backdoor thing, even though it'll be all over the news sites, but they'll try to do it as a backdoor thing to kind of get Vince out. But I like,
Or when they pay Triple H a huge raise to sneak in the back door of the McMansion and smother him in his sleep.
I thought they slept in the same bedroom.
that would be interesting, but yeah, it could. I mean, I'm very well, even though it is in the past, it could very well be the nail in Vince McMahon's coffin that they finally just be like, look, we can't have the publicity of this.
It's not new news though.
It's not new
It's
news,
definitely not new news.
but a lawsuit opens up old wounds. If they don't settle this out of court and this goes to trial, this is going to make news. This is going to make headlines, and that's something that Endeavor just can't have right now. So that's another thing that they kind of have to look at is, will they do like if it settles out of court and they can keep it hush, then they probably won't do anything to Vince. But if it goes to trial or it goes to the court of public opinion, then
nothing is ever just hushed anymore. Like nothing is ever hushed anymore. Some way, somehow, somebody will find out and leak something, whether it's settled civilly or not.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you there, Ricky, but I feel like it's still one of those things where, again, they're going to try to keep it out of the news. And I agree with you. There is something that will be leaked. And it might be somebody on the board. The old board, because again, who knows who leaked the information about Vince's hush money payments originally? We still don't have a clue on that one. So there could be somebody on the board that still has a grudge against Vince and is like, all right, we'll leak the
Probably everybody.
We know who leaked it. We know who leaked it.
Who?
Here comes the money.
You really think Shane leaked it?
Shane leaked it, and then when he went to hit the ropes, when he hit the ropes, Vince had a sniper shoot him in the back of the leg, take him out.
Take it, squad.
Here comes a Hemi.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. So I'm just curious to see how this plays out. If they go to settlement with this, or if they, if somehow. Because again, it's not just about the racism stuff. There is the wrongful termination. There is several other parts to that lawsuit. So there could be more to this than even, than just the Vince racism part. So we could see all of what happens if that goes to trial. So.
Damn it, Vince.
That's good shit.
Good shit.
Damn it, Vince. All right, moving on. All right, we have the draft is tonight, and I'm not talking about the NFL draft because really, honestly, nobody gives a shit.
Actually, that's tonight too, I think.
Well, it is tonight and tomorrow and Sunday, and the subsequential draft is Monday. Whatever, who cares? The Ravens signed Lamar. That's all we care about. Green Bay's got no quarterback, and Scott doesn't know what a football looks like. So that's all.
We have a quarterback, and you guys got a high-paid running back.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But believe me, since y'all didn't sign an offensive lineman, you're gonna have a high paid running back too, because he's gonna be running for his life. Anyway, we're moving on. Tonight is the draft. Night 1 is on SmackDown. Let me see if I can share this screen. WWE has released a list of people that will go or is able to be drafted tonight. There's 2 lists, one drafted for Monday night and one drafted for tonight. And where is my bam? There it is. There it is. Turn off the U porn. Okay, there we go. All right. You guys see that? You guys see that?
Yep.
Okay. So night 1, these are the people that are hit the wrong button. These are the people who are available to draft night 1. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Bobby Lashley, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, and Sonya. And I'll get to that in a second. Cody Rhodes, Damage Control, Bailey, Io, Dakota, Dexter Lumis, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Edge, Hit Row, right? Imperium, Lacey Evans, Matt Riddle, Maximum Male Models, Mustafa Ali. Oh, that was part of that lawsuit too, by the way.
Really? Well,
Yeah. So, okay, rewind real quick. Part of that lawsuit was she was saying, not from Mustafa Ali, but there was a 9/11. They wanted Mustafa Ali. I think it was Mustafa Ali that they wanted to,
Mansoor.
yeah, Mansoor. They wanted him to say that he was part of 9/11.
why didn't Vince learn from the original run? Who was it? Davari? Ari Davari?
Ari Davari.
That they had come out and portray a terrorist, and that lasted what, like 2 weeks, and then they had to cut it off due to the backlash.
Backlash. I mean, the guy almost didn't make it out of some of these events.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, you know,
Yeah,
like,
that's
why
put
didn't
somebody's
they
life
learn?
on the line.
Yeah, why didn't they learn the first time around and not do a 9/11 deal?
That's what they do. They don't learn.
Yeah.
They just keep doing the same shit. All right, moving back to the draft. Omos with MVP, Shinsuke, the Bloodline, the Miz, OC, Street Profits, Viking Raiders, and select NXT superstars. Now, this list has Chelsea and Sonya together. Now, are people being drafted as groups? Are they drafted as tag teams, factions? How does that work? I don't ever remember it being that way.
Yeah, I thought that because they did this a couple years ago with New Day, they
broke them up. They broke them up.
They broke them up due to the
Yeah, that's right.
Ida one show and Xavier and Kofi to the other one.
When they were putting the WWE title push on Big E.
Yeah. So, like, I'm honestly surprised that they're going, because I remember that they originally did well, but there was even something like in one of the original drafts, they split up tag teams as well, because if I remember right, that's when they split up Bubba Ray and Devon in one of the original drafts. They split up even APA, because Farouk was on one show, Bradshaw was on the other, Ron Simmons. You know, so I'm surprised that they're going to a style of drafting tag teams together, because sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. It just because most times when I've seen it happen, New Day, like they'll draft New Day all as one deal, or a tag team all as one deal. But then some other times they'll draft, like, I guess they do it just like whenever it suits their needs to split people up, then they'll do it. But
didn't they draft last year? Or was it last year they drafted, or was it 2 years ago? They drafted Kofi and Xavier on one brand, and Raw drafted Big E by himself.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, because that was
his WWE title push.
And then they brought them back together a year later without the draft. They just brought them back.
Well, and then they kind of split them up again when each one of them pretty much was injured all at the same time.
I kind of want to see Xavier Woods go on a singles run, but I think and I love Kofi, and you got to love Big E, which, by the way, is reporting that he might be back tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight, but he's not on this list.
Yeah.
He's not on this list.
He didn't make the list.
Yeah.
But
the one
I
thing-
just I don't understand why they would break these people up, and then like they almost got to realize that like Chelsea Green and Sonya, what are the plans there? I know they're together. Carmella got hurt, sadly.
Yeah.
My girl Carmella. And they put her with Sonya Deville, but are they planning on keeping these guys together? Are they going to make a tag team run with these girls?
Again, that's a very good
You
question.
were number one contenders. They did get a tag title shot.
Yeah.
But
Will they
again,
break up Hit Row? Is B Fab going to be by herself?
I just wish they would break up Hit
we
Row
don't
just to
even care
begin
for
with.
them.
I'm not.
I
Since who was in the dude that's in AEW now?
Swerve.
Swerve Scott. Yeah, when he
Ooh.
left this group, actually, they got fired, and Swerve was still there, right?
No, the whole group got
The whole group of them got released.
Oh, I thought they kept Swerve.
no.
I know they
That's
brought these guys
why-
back. I'm not a fan.
That's why Swerve went to AEW because he had gotten fired, and then a few months later, they hired the rest of Hit Row back, and it's like, well, that's just stupid because Swerve was really the only reason that they were decent to begin with,
Right.
and then we see, as Cornette calls him, Flop Dollar.
Well, if you saw Top Dollar dive through the ropes, and that's where you got the Flop Dollar from.
Flop Dollar, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Not great. He used to play for Maryland. I think he was an offensive or a defensive lineman for Maryland.
He didn't look like an offensive or defensive lineman there. He looked like a sack of wet hammers.
He looked like a clothesliner.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that's night one.
Well, and hold on one second, because there's one name on night one that kind of very much surprises me right now, considering that we don't know whether his contract has been renewed or not, and that's Drew McIntyre.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, his contract's not up yet.
I thought his contract was literally like it's within the next like few weeks or a month.
But it's not up yet.
But
But he's still part of the roster. So I'm sure they're still trying to get something done there.
But again, the way I think about it, and again, if you're, they haven't really, I don't know, have they used him on Raw or SmackDown since WrestleMania?
He's had some injuries, I think.
He's beat up. Yeah, he got beat up in that whole Gunther.
Okay.
And Sheamus thing there. They beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So to me, again, not trying, like, I don't want to say that this is the right way to do it, but knowing the way WWE does things, like if somebody hasn't, re-signed their contract and they have less than a month left on their contract, and again, he's got injuries, so he needs to sit out for a little bit. Why would they put him on the roster?
Well, if he's injured, then that means his contract will not end. They will add time onto it.
Well, they'll add time onto it, but what I'm saying is that they don't have any plans for him, considering they don't know whether he's going to completely renew or not. That's the way, again, I'm not saying this is the right way to look at it, but that's the way WWE looks at it as, hey, you know what? If he's not going to, renew, even if he does have a couple of months added onto his contract for injury timeout, the simple fact is we don't have any plans for him because we don't know if he's going to be here when his contract expires and if he's going to renew and come back. So why is he on the list of people that are draftable? Because he's not, there's no workable plans for him right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, again, I'm just looking at the way WWE would look at it. And, I would have, that's why I'm surprised to see his name on the list for draftable people, because he's injured, and two, they're not sure if he's going to resign. So why would they have plans for him if he's not going to resign?
I think behind the scenes, we're going to see him. He's going to resign. Everything you hear is not everything you hear, or everything you know. So I believe that Drew McIntyre is going to sign. Where is he going to go?
I mean, he could go to AEW. I mean, they could.
Well, you see how that works with AEW, right? Drew McIntyre, number one, is not going to work indies anymore, right? He's not an indie guy anymore. He's not going to do that. No. And that's what AEW is. They pay you, but they pay you their booking is really bad right now. They don't. Their story writing is bad. They got a ton of talent. They just don't know what to fucking do with it. Would Tony Khan bring him in? Absolutely.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
absolutely. He'd be a nice little ad for their upcoming show in Wembley.
Yeah.
But I just don't like after Wembley. Then what do you do with Drew McIntyre? And I'm not sure that they'll know.
A dark AEW Dark Elevation.
Right. Right.
Well, no,
Rack
Elevation's gone.
shows.
Oh yeah, I guess they got rid of well, they're moving it to Saturday nights. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Saturday
night two for Monday Night Raw. Akira Tozawa, number one draft pick, by the way, is how I look at that. Akira Tozawa, Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad, Angel Garza, Umberto Carrillo, Umberto. We're just gonna call him Umberto. Asuka, Austin Theory, Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, and Ricochet, Brock, Bronson Reed, who, by the way, was awesome on Monday. I love him. He's got to he's got to wear that belt. Even if he can't get it around his waist, they got to put that belt on him. Anyway, Cedric Alexander, Shelton, Charlotte Flair, which I was surprised about this Charlotte Flair thing because she is on hiatus. So
Really?
yeah, so I don't know what the deal is with Charlotte either. So Dana Brooke, which is most likely going to be fired on Tuesday. Elias, Emma, Johnny Gargano, Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Eddie's son Dominic. Karrion Cross, Karrion Cross with the Smoke Show. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, LA Knight, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki Cross, Piper Niven, Rhea Ripley. They just put the whole Irish bang right back to back to back.
Right?
Rick Boogs, Riddick Moss. I thought they just changed his name to Riddick. Okay.
They did.
Anyway, they did.
Madcap.
Okay. It says Madcap. That's what it is. This is Riddick Moss one here. Ronda Rousey, Seth, Shotzi, Tamina, Tegan Knox, the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, Butch, LWO, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro, Jacqueline Wild, and Zelina Vega. New Day, Kofi and Xavier, Usos, Trish Stratus, Xia Li, and some NXT superstars. One name not on either one of those lists is what?
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Well, it's NXT superstars.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's select NXT superstars.
Biggie.
Yeah.
Biggie. So that guarantee you he's coming.
Yeah. That could be a surprise. That'll be a surprise draft pick. So
yeah. I think wherever the New Day ends up.
Yeah. I was gonna say another name that's not on this list, Shane McMahon. Oh yeah, that's right.
Bray Wyatt.
That's
Bray Wyatt. That is another name that
very good. That neither is Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
Wow, no Bray Wyatt. I didn't even think of that. Bray Wyatt. That's what we should be doing. Think about who's not on this list.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt. Yes, that's a big one. That might be telling.
Yeah.
Telling.
Yeah.
So so we all love the draft. We did our draft special. Ricky, you weren't on for that one, but we did our draft special, and I went back through some of the comments, and it looked like Scott had the worst draft. Everybody thought Scott had the worst draft.
Yeah, well, people just don't know what they're talking about because they don't.
I would talk 10 times.
Yeah, he did. Oh shit. Okay, let me bring up what I was going to do earlier. Talks amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, again, I am very curious to see where the Bray Wyatt deal goes. Because again, he's not on that list. So, what again, they're saying injury, they're saying creative, there's so many stories.
Issues.
Huh?
I heard there's some mental issues too, like he's having like some just problems in general.
Yeah. And again, I mean, if that
Personal,
is
not mental.
so bad for the guy, because I mean, that's not an easy thing to deal with, especially if it's a chronic condition. But it just makes you wonder, like, what and again, if it is mental issues, is that what's causing the issue with the creative, where he's like just trying to fire on his cylinders, and then WWE is like, no, you got to do this, and it's just the mental stuff is creating such an issue between that. So I don't know. Again, I'm curious, because again, we still have no direct answer as to what's going to happen with Bray.
Yeah.
So I'm again just makes you wonder that he's not on the list. So now what? Is that a sign, or is this just the next part in the chapter of the Bray Wyatt story in WWE? So
Yeah, delete.
delete.
We should probably even check to see if he's even on the listed roster.
And if he's not, then that's also telling too. Because they don't take people off even if they're injured. They just, see, it'd be interesting if they at least listed active or inactive status, kind of like a normal sports team would.
Just throw up. What happened there? You all right?
No, I just had a slight burp that I was trying to stifle.
Just fart in your throat. What was going on there?
Fart in my throat. No, I had a small burp I was trying to stifle. So
what? Another name that probably wasn't on that, I don't think was on that list, was a certain somebody was supposed to be with Bray.
Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Well, she's going through her own issues right now as well.
Well, I know she's hurt, right? She's hurt.
I thought she had her
Bliss.
I had seen on an article that she was going through her own mental issue, like someone had died, I believe, or there's something that had happened, and it kind of caused her to have a bit of a mental breakdown, so she took time off for that. That was the last report I had seen. And she's now, of course, not on the list of people that are available to be drafted. So
I'll draft her.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's play a game. Let's do a little trivia game to end this. We've been on for about 45 minutes now. So let's go ahead and end this with a little trivia, something I like to do. First, people might not know is Wyatt's still not here. And this is how I take it. Wyatt hates us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wyatt hates us. So hopefully Wyatt will be back on Monday. He had wasn't feeling well and did not make the show, but that's okay. We got Tricky Ricky. That's what it was. Tricky Ricky Walker. So, okay. Since Scott went first last time, let's do Scott again because Ricky's new.
Okay.
No, we're gonna go Ricky first. We're gonna let Ricky
last
go
time.
first. You did?
Yeah, I went first last time.
Kiss my ass then. Scott, you're going first.
Okay.
These are a lot harder. The Royal Rumble was won by Edge which year?
How the fuck is that hard?
Oh.
So he won Money in the Bank,
The
and
Royal Rumble was won by Edge in what year?
I don't remember. Wait a minute, that's the okay. Am I thinking of this wrong? Or did he win multiple times, or is he only won once?
He's only won once.
Okay, so then that was the more recent one, which was 2022. Yeah, 2022. 2021.
2021, I think. Wasn't it? Just 2 years
Edge,
ago. Yeah, it was
2010.
What?
No, he just won it like 2 years ago.
Edge won the Royal Rumble.
Like
Yeah.
2 years ago.
These questions, they're
You
saying
better check your resources there, bruh.
I'm looking right at it, bro. It says
He
2010. Now
won
you
it
got
like
now.
2 years
Look it
ago.
up.
He won it like 2 years ago, and then that turned into the triple threat with him, Roman, and Daniel Bryan, where Roman pinned both of them. And that was Daniel Bryan leaving to go to AEW after that.
Let me see if I miss. Maybe I miss. The Royal Rumble was won by
You're right,
Edge
he
in
won
which
in
year?
2010, I believe. He has one. Maybe he has one too. I don't know.
Okay, we have. Okay. 20. 2010.
Okay.
That one was right. Oh, he did win in 2021.
Okay.
Hmm.
2010. I'm trying to remember who he challenged that year. Was that Taker that he challenged?
No,
That
20
No,
that
no,
year.
he had the title. Taker beat him.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
would he have challenged Taker that year at Mania?
I don't know if I can even use these
No.
questions. Are these questions outdated?
Well, no, I mean he was right, the 2010 one, but I just don't, I just don't remember who he would have challenged at Mania that year.
But now that I look at it, these questions suck. Triple H only Royal Rumble win came in what year?
2002.
Very good. Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Son of a bitch, Ricky, you're an encyclopedia.
I remembered that one because one was the year I graduated high school, and Triple H was my favorite back then. And like I was hyped up for his return from like one of his 28 quad injuries he's had in his life.
All
Yep.
right, July 23rd, 2012, WWE Raw celebrated a milestone episode. Which milestone? Scotty?
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So wait a minute. What year was it again?
2012.
Okay.
Bam, 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 bam. 5
didn't
seconds.
they didn't so
5,
they just hey
4, 3, 2, 1. Ricky.
I don't know. I would say it was
1,000 episodes.
Okay.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, Ricky, how many times did Mr. Perfect win the Intercontinental title?
Shit. I'm gonna go with only twice, but I want to say 3 times.
Final answer.
Let's go 2.
It is 2.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is 2.
Yep. You had it right.
Scott, you're shaking your. He said 2. You're shaking your head yes, and then he said, "I'm gonna go with 3," and you're like,
No, I knew it was 2 because I like and the 2 main title defenses were Brett and
Brett and Pipe. Was it Brett and Piper?
no, Piper
No,
was Piper and Brett were the 2 that fought
Yeah.
against each other. Brett, who was the other one? There was one other main guy that he lost the title to.
no idea.
Frank,
How many times did Bret Hart win the WWE Championship?
1, 2. because he won it off of Flair.
Woo.
He won it off of Taker, if I remember right. And then so I think it was one off Flair, then he won off Taker. Two.
How many?
Two.
No. Ricky?
4?
No. Close.
5.
Closer. 5.
Uh,
Yeah,
Oh, that's-
Yoko, Taker, Sid, Flair,
Yoko. Yoko.
Yeah, I
was
think
the
he beat
last
Yoko.
one. And then
Yeah, I
he
think he
took it
beat
off.
Yoko.
Was it he beat Shawn? He took it off Michaels, I think, once maybe.
He took it off Michaels once, and then Michaels took it back off of him.
Yeah, that was a screw job. Okay, yeah, so it was 5. It was 5.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about Yoko and I forgot about Sid.
How can you forget about Yoko?
I know, right?
All right, a couple more here, then we'll get off here. Who partnered with R-Truth in the tag team? Awesome Truth.
Jesus, Miz.
The Miz. That's exactly right.
Christ.
That's horrible. Scotty, Nicholas Nemeth is the real name of which current WWE superstar?
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler is correct. Ricky, which current WWE superstar is known as the Show Off?
Dolph Ziggler?
Dolph Ziggler, yeah.
What the? Why are there two of the same?
I have no idea, but I read it anyway.
He's looking at Dolph Ziggler's porn page.
Hello, ladies.
Or
Which
people.
is the collective name of the WWE that the WWE gives their fans?
The WWE universe, and I want to throw up every time I say that.
It is the universe, yes.
Don't
Where's
get it,
where is
Justin.
William Regal from?
Blackpool,
Blackpool.
England.
There you go. Perfect. Whose finisher move is the Trouble in Paradise, Scott?
Kofi Kingston.
Perfect. Ricky, Darren Matthews is the real name of which WWE superstar? This is worth double points.
I'm sorry. I was going to call. What was that again?
Darren Matthews is the real name of which WWE superstar? William Regal. Oh shit! I just gave you the answer.
Really?
No,
That's his
listen.
real name, Darren Matthews?
Darren Matthews. Which current well, this is old then. Who used the monogram Y2J?
Jericho.
Jericho. Who
Chris
else?
Jericho. Perfect. All right, last question. Now, this is a tough one. This is a toss-up between either one of you. Who partnered with Kofi Kingston in the tag team Air Boom?
Evan
That's-
Bourne.
Wow.
Bourne, yeah.
Wow. Ricky is today for sure today's winner. Killed it. Evan Bourne. I never got any of these answers, most likely, because I have forgotten more than I could ever remember. So wow, Evan Bourne. That's
We're
really
drinking
good.
on the job, man.
Huh?
We're drinking on the job.
Oh shit, wrong end. Anyway. All right,
That's for
that'll
sure.
do it. That'll do it today for Hardway. Scott, any last words here going into the weekend? What are you expecting out of we got SmackDown tonight. We got AEW. What is it called? Who cares?
Rampage.
Light.
No, AEW. Who's watching anymore? Anyways,
AEW 12
Dynamite.
viewers.
yeah.
Dynamite. Yeah, I would watch JJ Walker if they put him on Dynamite.
Yeah, there you go.
Next week we have Backlash, right? Backlash is coming up.
Oh, is that next weekend?
That's
Ooh,
next weekend.
wow.
Yeah. So we'll have to do it. Definitely next week. We're going to do a Backlash preview.
Yep.
So
No,
Scotty, any?
I'm looking forward to the draft, and we'll see. Like I again with WWE, always expect the unexpected, so there could be some surprise. I mean, again, there might be a Big E sighting. You never know who some surprise returns might be. People getting thrown into the draft, so we'll see what happens. I'm kind of curious.
Who's the number one pick for SmackDown?
Probably
Bloodline.
it's got to be Roman to stay on SmackDown. Bloodline.
Okay, all right. That's
Number one pick for Raw's Cody.
that for Raw
Yeah.
is definitely going to be Cody because that's where that new belt is going.
Yeah.
That's a good put on Drew once they figure it out.
Probably Brock again.
Ricky, last words from you going into the weekend.
I don't have any last words. I'm good.
Good.
Do it.
Good content, Ricky.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. That's it for Hardway. Remember, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Please. If you have a comment or if you want to make fun of Ricky, please put them in the comments. We love to make fun of Ricky. Most of the time, we do it to Scott's face.
Yeah.
Behind Ricky's back. So we will have Wyatt back most likely next week, and we'll that's it, man. That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
We'll see you guys on the hard way.
Peace.